Thanks, Chairman. Look, I'd like to speak in favour of the reform proposition. I've spoken at about 300 AGMs over the last decade, advocating good governance, and I don't think I've ever seen a bigger no-brainer than what is on offer today. I mean, if I could just remind everyone here today what happened. That AWB, with its farmer gerrymander, guaranteed farmer control, was involved in the greatest governance scandal in Australian history, which was slipping $300 million to the Iraqi dictator Saddam Hussein. And if you recalcitrant directors can't understand that something needed to be done to the governance structure after the Oil for Food inquiry out of New York, after our own Royal Commission, and all the reports that flow from that, I really don't know what planet you guys are on. I mean, governance today around the world is more heightened in terms of corporate scandals than it's ever been. Just today, shares in Babcock and Brown have crashed by 25%, and they are an appallingly governed company. If you have a look at MFS, Centro, Orco, ABC Learning, all these companies have been crucified by the market. They can't raise equity, they can't raise debt, and they have appalling governance. So if you don't appreciate that if you don't fix your governance structure, you won't be able to raise equity or debt to pursue your business, and I don't know what planet you're living on. Now, the single desk is dead. It's gone. It's kaput. It's an ex-parrot. It's a dead parrot. It's gone. I was at a conference a month ago where John Aegis spoke, who was the counsellor around the Royal Commission. And he said that he was amazed with the belligerence of AWB going into the inquiry. They didn't go in there and say, yep, we done it. We're sorry. Now, I've been bagging Brendan and this board before for not seeing the light and waking up that something had to happen. Now, belatedly, they've finally got with the program, and they're putting up an appropriate reform agenda. After the National Party protection's gone, after John Anderson's out of the Parliament, after the single desk has been executed, finally we've got with the program. And there are 4 recalcitrants hanging on there for grim death, pretending the world hasn't changed, ignoring the fact that 90% of the owners of this company have taken a position that we actually have to have a normal board and governance structure, not one which gives a conflicted minority group gerrymander control over this board.
Stephen, I'll have to ask you to come to a question, mate, if there is one.
I was just going to suggest that the gentleman should perhaps read this book, Evan Whitten, The Hillbilly Dictator. It's the book on Joh Bjelke-Petersen and what he did. This company is still running an outrageous gerrymander, far worse than what Sir Joh did in Queensland. And this proposal is to fix the gerrymander and have a normal governance operation. Now, I've got 2 questions I want to ask. I specifically want to ask Colin, and you can't just stand up and say legal protection. Colin, you're involved with the WA Grants Council. How can you possibly sign a deal with Emerald, a competitor to AWB, and talk about grower loyalty? I mean, you've shown gross disloyalty to AWB in your involvement with the WA growers in signing a deal with a competitor. So 1, you've got an outrageous conflict of interest, and 2, you've shown amazing disloyalty to AWB, and you're running on a loyalty platform. I mean, can you please explain precisely how your conduct in relation to Emerald somehow is not a conflict of interest and somehow shows loyalty to AWB and its shareholders?
Thank you. Nicola, would you like to go to the lectern and answer the question?
Mr. Chairman, I guess you're aware that AWB are in possession of a letter from the Director of WA Farmers, and that letter, and I'd like to explain to the meeting, quite clearly advises the company that I had absolutely nothing to do with any deal that was done between WA Farmers and Emerald Group.
My understanding is that Colin handed the company secretary a letter about 15 minutes before departing the office, which I haven't had the opportunity to read yet.